Okay, we're back again. Today we're ranking the least of the painful party members. Um, this is the only thing on Tier Maker that I could find that had all the party members. Um, so you're just gonna have to deal with all the fucking spider sprites. I don't know why they did this. Oh, he doesn't know either, apparently. But yeah, we're just talking about the party members, and I will rank Brad as well. Um, I guess it's important to say I haven't played completely vanilla in a while. I always play on the I think it's Desolate Expanse is what it's called. I think that's yeah, it's the Desolate Expanse mod which I usually play on. But I have several years of experience in the base game, and I mean I know pretty well what's going on here. So I guess we'll start with. I don't want to start with. I guess we'll start with Brad. Um, I want to start with Brad because I think that kind of gives you a decent idea of what you want in this game. Which, if you can't tell, that means he's S tier. Um, really good attack. Has a move that hits everyone. Um, fire attack is nice, I guess, if you're using fucking Birdly. But also, it's just nice to have a special attack. It's good for when he's going through Joy Withdrawal. Um, super beefy, tons of defense. He's kind of middling in speed. Um, and compared to some people like Rage or whatever, I mean, he's pretty slow. Um, but he's not. There are slower characters. He's probably one of the slowest though. It's kind of weird because it's like everyone. If you think of Rage as being at like 130 speed, Brad's at like 60, and there's like a couple characters that are like half that, but all the other slow characters are around Brad's speed. But that's point is, it's basically the only thing he doesn't have is great speed. I guess he doesn't have um, he doesn't have any sort of like damage over time effect, like no poison or anything. Um, but he does have stuns, and stuns are very important because the main thing that is scary in Lisa is the permadeath attacks. Because if an enemy uses a permadeath attack, um, there's no accuracy check or anything; it just hits. It's the only way to prevent yourself from getting hit by that. Um, I guess you could have Brad be taunted because he's the only guy. Well, I guess that doesn't work in the original. There's no way to inflict it. See, and that's what I'm. It's been a while, but I guess you could like have everyone else be stinky or whatever, so they're more likely to target Brad. I'm rambling, man. The only way to prevent characters from getting hit by permadeath attacks is to not let them use permadeath attack at all. How do you do that? Stuns. What stuns do you want? Well, Brad is like. This is kind of where Brad falters a little bit. I wouldn't say he's like super busted. He's just very, very, very good. Probably still the best character in the game. I mean, you're definitely happy that Brad's the guy that's always in your party. He's very good. Um, so the Joy Mutants that you're afraid of, and also just some of the other bigger enemies will never. They can't be fallen down. Um, and fallen down only lasts like one turn. Stun. I think both stun and fallen down can last 1 to 2. Um, point is, your attack that hits everyone uh, is never going to be able to stun the bigger enemies. That can be an issue. You're not going to be able to stack stuns, which can be a thing where like maybe your regular like stun like the status effect stun stays for that second turn. Well, if you had a move that could scare per se, you could scare on that turn, and then you just have another stun set up, and so they're just not getting a chance to move. You can't really do that if the enemy is um, immune to fall. But fall is still useful on a lot of guys, especially like most of the group settings where you're going to be using head slide to try to knock people down. Those don't tend to have a lot of huge enemies that are immune to fall. There are some, but typically in battles like that, you will be able to make everyone fall down. Even missing one arm, he's still really good. Of course, the combo attacks, that's another thing. The combo attacks add a ton of damage to him, to every attack that he has. Even with one arm, still pretty good, still pretty beefy. He does lose a lot of defense when you lose that one arm. It's like he has like half the fucking defense, is what it feels like. Um, he's still pretty good. I would say one-armed Brad is like normal mode. Keeping both of your arms is like easy mode. And choosing to lose your... It's kind of weird because at the point in the game where you're losing your last arm, the game's almost over anyways, but he is kind of bad once he's lost his last arm. Let's think here. Where would a one-armed Brad go? Probably still A tier. I mean, he's still really good. He still has the combo meter. That's one thing that sucks about no armed Brad, is he loses that completely. No armed Brad's probably like C tier. He can still stun and he does okay damage, but he's probably C tier with no arms. Just because you lose the combo dial, you lose that, and you also just lose a bunch of damage outright. Um, so C tier probably, but A tier for one armed, still S tier for both. Marty Spider probably gotta be S tier. Put you in C tier. That sounds like a good place for you, Marty Spider. Okay, who's next? Let's go Terry. So I guess one thing. So if Brad's doing all this, he's doing all this damage, bulky. He can, do your regular stuns. What do you want then? Because you have Brad for sure every time. Um, so you want someone that complements Brad because you already have at least one tanky DPS guy. And so characters that can do damage over time effects, characters that can do stuns and other stats effects, those are going to be really useful party members. Of course, pure damage is still good. Typically, you would still want at least one other guy that's main purpose is to deal damage other than Brad. But you can shine a lot if you have something that Brad can't do. So Terry, Terry's a weird one. I was kind of thinking maybe I should start with someone else. Start with Rage. He's the iconic fucking helper buddy. Where do I put Rage? I guess availability will matter for this. Obviously, if I'm getting you in Area 3 when the game's almost over, you're gonna be a lot less useful. Although you can use glitches to get to Area 3 just as soon as you can get to Area 2 and get people early that way, and that can be fun. But I don't know if I want to rate them like that because I don't think most people are doing that. Rage. He's got... He can knock one enemy over with one of his weaker attacks, but it is still something he can do. Other than that, though, he just does damage. He has the fire attack. Fire will matter. I think I'll do Fireman next. He has a fire attack, which is good if you're doing a fire build. Still probably A tier. I mean, he has super high luck and speed. Luck doesn't matter that much, but speed definitely does. Speed affects your evasion. Luck also, I believe, affects evasion a little bit, but speed is the primary thing, I want to say. Isn't that how it works? I believe that's how it works. Is there anyone that has super high luck but not high speed? I'm going to say that's how it works because that's what I remember. I should really know this. So, I mean, he's going to die in like one fucking hit, which sucks. But he's going to dodge a lot of attacks anyways. He's pretty much always going first. He's super fast. Good attack. The combo dial is what really helps him out. I could almost justify B tier just because of the lack of status effects. The thing is, you always use Rage. You will never not use Rage. He's the best party member you can get early on with like pre-area 2. And that almost makes me want to put him in S tier. Um, no, because you can get by without Rage. You can use like Nern's finger beams, all right. So I just keep him in A tier. I think availability helps him a lot. He's good damage. Um, if like half of these fucking characters are supposed to have joy withdrawal, but it just wasn't programmed properly. Rage is one of them. If he had joy withdrawal, he'd probably be a lot worse. But he doesn't. So yippee. Fireman Birdie, S tier, but he's really boring. Just oil them up. I believe they take like 3.5 times damage when they're oiled up. Um, I think they also have a little bit more evasion. Who cares? 3.5 times damage to fire damage, which makes the fact that Brad has fire damage really awesome. His fire damage, even though it's like one of his first attacks he gets, it'll still out damage an oiled up opponent compared to like regular attacks. Anyone with fire gets a big. When I say edge, I'm not gonna rate it that highly because being weak to fire like that really only matters if you're using Birdie. I don't want to center everyone around Birdie, but it'll be a consideration. Other than that, he's pretty much fucking worthless. It costs a ton of TP to use most of his moves. They're just like bad physical attacks that miss a lot. Um, you can cure status effects with him. That's nice. Most of the time, you really don't care that much. He can heal and put himself to sleep. You could just use an item. He's a TP character. TP characters suck. TP is pretty much never better than SP because if you have SP, for most characters, you can just use whatever move you want. SP is not really a consideration for almost any character. TP, though, it just always sucks. Um, so that sucks, but the one move you care about, it only costs like 10 TP. Oh, and it blinds. I forgot that. It blinds. So they have a 70% chance to fucking miss. So he's like so busted just with that one move. He can heal your party. That's nice. That is actually good. There's no like item that heals your party. I guess that's another thing. If you have really high speed, then you can use items really quickly, which makes you a very effective healer. Um, really, most people just want to be healing with items because your items are almost always gonna heal better than your any moves would. But a party heal's useful. But I mean, if it's just oiled up, he could literally just have oiled up. He'd still be S tier. If he didn't have oiled up, probably F tier. Um, One kind of annoying thing is that his speed is really close to Brad's, to the point where, because you want him to go first, obviously, because you want to oil them up and then have Brad use a fire attack. So you have to like not put things that on Brad that raise speed by like 5. Yeah, that's another thing. He's pretty slow, so you will have to use his accessory slot to give him speed boosts. Um, but it's just a weird thing because you'll level up and all of a sudden Brad's gonna be outspeeding him, and you're just like, oh fuck. It's still like S tier no matter what. Now we can talk about Terry. Everyone likes to meme about Terry because when he gets to like level 25 or 24, he gets one of the strongest attacks in the game. Costs a ton of SP, which does kind of matter for Terry. He can't. I mean, by the time you're running out of SP, if you went into a battle with full SP, battle's probably over by the time you're running out. But in longer fights, it can be an issue. Or if things just don't go right, someone dies. Um, but the thing is, you're getting that at the end of the game, or near the end of the game, probably like end of area 2 typically. Um, and area 3 is probably the easiest area in the game. It has kind of an inverse difficulty curve where the beginning of the game is super hard, and the longer it goes, the easier it is. So if you're becoming useful in area 3 or being obtained in area 3, it's like I kind of don't care because I already have all the great equipment. I have tons of other people I could be using, but what does Terry have? He has hype up, which is nice. It gives Gives whatever character you use it on 30% crit rate. Which you can combine with the drunk status effect's 70% crit rate to have a 100% crit rate. However, the drunk status effect lowers your attack so much that it still does less damage most of the time, anyways. It's very funny thing that I found out. But hype up's really good on combo characters like Rage and Brad. He does have some actual use early game, just for hype up. He has like Knuckle Drop, which does some damage. It's not great or anything, but it's not like completely fucking worthless. But you can use a move that does no damage but makes people fall over. Yippee. Brad can do damage and make people fall over, so that doesn't typically. It's not typically going to be very useful. You could use it on, I believe, Johnny, the guy on Dismal Island. You might want to use it there. Other than that, you'll like never use it. He does have a move that heals pretty good, but it costs a ton of SP and causes you to cry. You don't want that. Um, he does get Hot Dance, not to be confused with Hottest Dance, which is his funny move. But that is a fire attack, and it does, say, probably around 500 damage in Area 2, which isn't good, but with Birdie, I mean, he's still. It does make him useful mid game rather than just being useful late game. The thing about him is the thing that really sucks. He has so little HP that even though you can give him like shields and you can give him like the fur coat that you get off of Beastborn really early, that's like an end game piece of equipment. You can get it really early and put it on Terry. Even then, like his HP and defense is so low that he gets one shot all the time, anyways, and that's what really brings him down. If he had good bulk, I think he would be mediocre. But as is, I'm not gonna. The thing with the F tier is like that's gonna be reserved for very few characters that are just fucking dog shit. He's not quite that dog shit. He does have hype up, fire. Like he can do a little bit of damage, you know. And I'm not completely discounting the fact that he gets hottest dance. You can use it on like the Satan fight and everything. Um, it's a good move. I mean, you can just spam it all throughout Area 3. It's pretty fun. Um, and you can use him early game. Thing is, like he dies so much early game that you kind of don't want to do that, because then you're wasting turns with better characters trying to revive Terry. He's probably just gonna die again anyways. But I can't. Hype up is good. There are worse characters than Terry. He might move down to D tier, but for now, I'll keep him in C. So worse characters than Terry. Here's Percy. Um, very mediocre physical attack that he can do. He gets an okay fire attack with a good chance to burn. That's pretty much his saving grace. He eventually gets a bigger version of it. We'll do like 1,000 damage in Area 3, which is like if you're not doing 1,000 damage in Area 3, you fucking suck. Pretty much everyone can do at least 1,000 damage in Area 3. It's kind of like a range. It's like you can either do 1,000, 1,500. Typically 2,000 is about your cap. There are a couple characters that'll go into 3,000 if you set them up right. But it's pretty much a range between. It's not even a range between like 1,000 and 2,000. It's 1,000, 1,500, or 2,000 is your average. He's just doing 1,000. At least he has that. It has a good chance to burn. He has single target heals, but who cares? Just use fucking horse jerky. Money is practically infinite. Um, he's not completely useless though, but he is pretty boring. I mean, having a fire attack's good because Birdie. But like I say, I'm not gonna fucking bump you up to C tier just because Birdie can make anyone good as long as they have a fire move of some sort. But I might be a little wrong. Mad Dog, I've never done the Mad Dog Birdie combination, but he is a TP character. He needs a lot of TP, but you can use the bugged fucking taunt move to get like just a full TP bar. Basically, how it works, because it's fucking broken, that you get 30 TP for every enemy on the field, and you can just do it repeatedly. So he's a TP character, but he can actually build TP really well. It works a lot better like that than if the mechanics actually worked as intended. Um, Even still, it's a shitty fire move with an okay chance to burn early on. Gradually get slightly better ones. Okay. Alright. Um, Nail Rake, okay physical attack with Bleed. Bleed does like 2% damage a turn. Barely matters. It's nice, but it barely matters. Doesn't last for very long. He's very bulky, which is good. And he does okay physical and okay special damage. Probably like middling of both. Just for having taunt, and the point in which you get him. Historically, I do typically replace Nern with Mad Dog, but lately, when I play the game, which has been honestly a while since I played the game at this point, lately I will. I've been trying out sticking with Nern. I guess we'll get to Nern next, but he's still pretty good. I'm not sure if I can really justify B tier. I mean, he might. Is he better than Terry? I think Terry has to go in D. I think Terry does have to go in D. Percy might end up moving to F. Because he doesn't get his big fire move until pretty late. And up until that point, he's not doing much. I think that's okay. I think that's okay. We'll see. We'll see who ends up in B. Nern, weird character. He's the only character that can give another character TP, which is nice. Typically, rather than use Nern to give people TP, you would rather just not use a TP character and just kill the enemy with SP attacks. But it is a niche that he has. Only one that can do it. You can't even do it with items. If you use the TP restoring item on a character, like if someone else, like if you want to give Mad Dog TP with the TPT, um, Mad Dog has to use it on himself. You can't have someone else use it on Mad Dog. It doesn't work. But that's good. You can restore SP. Not that really typically matters. Again, it's a niche. You can do the Ollie, Nern, meme combo. But really, again, you'd rather just use Diet Colas on Ollie. The finger beams are mainly what you give a shit about, which is funny, because he's like the support character. But no, you want to use his fucking special moves. They actually do okay damage, like for what it is. Decent damage. He's got some scare moves. They don't do damage with a chance to scare. They just have a chance to scare, which is a little bit sucky. Still a decent option. I believe he can put people to sleep too. That's pretty niche, but I suppose more enemies are susceptible to sleep than scare. He just does okay damage. You get him really early, and he's not even going to get finger beams until probably after you beat, what's his name, Charmy, I think? Or no, I think that's someone else. The first Joy Mutant, or, well, the guy that guards the bike. I think that is Charmy. He's, probably C tier. He's okay. You can use shields. That's neat. He's the only character that can use pistols that gives a shit about the special attack bonuses from a couple of them. That's funny. Pretty much never cares about any physical attack bonus. Who's next? Let's just start with all the early game characters. Olan, very mid. Rapid arrows, pretty good. It misses a lot though. Bomb arrows, not very good. It's a fire attack, but honestly, it's such a shitty fire attack. I'm not even sure if it's worth using with Birdie because it misses a lot. Costs probably too much TP for what it's worth. You'd really rather just be using Rapid Arrow, Mega Rapid Arrow. Poison and Deep Poison Arrow are nice. Deep Poison Arrow costs too much for what it is, but at least it's an option. Regular Poison is better than Deep Poison, anyways. I think he fucked up the coding. I think Deep Poison and regular Poison are swapped in what they're supposed to do. So the regular Poison Arrow is good, and you get it pretty early. He's just very mid. If he wasn't a TP character, he'd probably be like B tier, maybe A tier. Yeah, because then you could just spam Mega Arrow, Mega Rapid Arrow. He's fine. C tier. A lot of characters I feel like are C tier. It's like you're either okay or you're the best in the game, is how it goes. Rooster fucking sucks. You get him at the end of Area 1. If you got him earlier, he might be better. The thing is, okay, so you have your cock blast moves. They do special attack damage, but they do so little that you never want to use that for any reason. Even though you have like 4 or 5 of them, never use them. They're bad. Rustle kick, which has priority, but it doesn't have any like secondary effect or anything, so the priority is not that useful. It doesn't do much damage. There's no health bars in vanilla Lisa, so you're not really gonna know if you're about to kill her or not. It's just not good. He has a stun move. That's nice, but Brad, again, like you're doubling up on something Brad can do. It's still nice because sometimes Brad's stuns don't work, and it does do okay damage. He's got the Rooster Storm move, probably his best move. Does good damage to everyone. That's like the only move of his I would call good. The rest are like bad to okay. I think he'd say he's worse than Terry. So at least Terry can consistently hype up. He really feels like he was supposed to be a combo character, but he's just not. At least he's not a TP character. Um, who else do you get early? I kind of don't want to just do all the early ones in a row. I guess we're almost done with early ones though. Beastborn, really weird. You can get him really early. I haven't used him too often. I've used him a couple times, but very bulky. That's nice. TP character, that sucks. You can make enemies feel weird for very cheap while doing a little damage. That's really nice. You can poison enemies. That's really nice. Deep poison. I believe he can paralyze too. All very nice. But he's a TP character. Does decent damage with the multi-hit whip attack. Um, really, like I say, he's just a TP character and he's very slow. Um, and he's a TP character where like most of his attacks take a lot of TP. Some of them like they stay pretty cheap, but beast spawns are really expensive. A lot of his are like 30 and 40. He has Deer Bomb, which isn't good. Don't use it. Um, yeah, I mean, I guess he might go in D. He can make enemies feel weird. That's nice. You can get him early. He's bulky, which is better early on. I guess I'll keep him in C. Better than Rooster for sure. Farty, D tier. The funny thing about Farty, so he's gonna get all these like truck slam attacks, 1 through 4. They get stronger and more expensive as they go, but they also have a higher chance to miss as they go. So you kind of just want to stick with the default one. The thing of it is though, that default one's pretty good. Like early on, like let's say the Sweet Tea Rakim fight, like if especially if you're doing pain mode, fighting both of them, um, it'll do like 1,500 damage if it hits, like 1,000 to 1,500, and that's really good for that early on. It misses a lot, but it's honestly, I'm not gonna put him in C tier because it's just like this niche early on. But it's like that fight is right after you get him. You don't really have to deal with anything before or after. I mean, there's like 1 or 2 random bullshit fights that don't matter, but you could just swap him onto your team, have him hit everybody with cars, maybe keep him into that fight after the motorcycle section. That's another multi-man melee there. I honestly, and I think I've done this a couple times, and it worked okay. Just like switch him out with someone that you're gonna replace an area to anyways. Um, the thing is, like, if you're using him past that point, like, I want to put him in like C tier. If we were just going by like, oh, you can use him, you'd be like B tier because he for like 5 minutes, he's actually fine to use, but he does not scale well at all. Um, really, he can't wear much equipment. That sucks. Um, he's like one of the few characters where you want to put the glasses item on him so you can see better. That's funny. Um, who's next? Who is next, man? Let's go. What's this guy's name? Ninja Boy. I forget his name. He's okay. You get him in Area 3. Very stacked C tier. Area 3. He's got fire attacks. That's nice. He's very fast. Very, very fast. He has an increased targeting rate because he is gay and black, which is very funny. It's like 3 times as likely to be targeted. And he is a little bit bulky, so you can use that to your advantage. Um, He can do bleed and burn. That's nice. He has a water attack for the one group of enemies that's weak to water in the game. Actually, no, Hawk is also weak to water. So, two groups of enemies that are weak to water. Actually, no, because, no, I was thinking of Han Tsunami's gang was weak to water, but no, they resist water. They're the only enemy that resists water. They're weak to fire, so yeah, he's good against that one enemy. Other than that, just use your fire move constantly. But he's very fast. If you, like I say, do those glitches to get him early, it's pretty good. He's an SP character, that's nice. He's just very basic. But he's fine, decent bulk, very, very fast. There's not a whole lot of bulky and fast characters, usually pretty frail. Buckets, um, Joy Addict, very, very bad Joy Addict. He's gonna be going through withdrawal a lot. Even if you're gonna like arrest it off, I mean, there's gonna be more times where you're just in the middle of something and you can't really be bothered to go heal it. He's still really good. Highest single damage, like without any extra status effects in the game. Um, his attacks all pierce defense really, really well. Um, very, very fast. Even when he's um, not going through withdrawal, he is very frail though, which sucks. But very fast. He can do just like a fuck ton of damage. I mean, that's his main thing. He can scare too while doing a little bit of damage. So if you're going through Joy Withdrawal, he has a good status move to use. But I might put him in S tier just because he does so much damage. It is really fucking annoying to get him, but it's also like passive. It doesn't require much effort. Queen sucks, misses a lot. Just has like the one fucking move that does damage. If you actually use Joy on Queen, it's pretty good because he's got all his multi hits. That all become crits, and that's he does like tons of damage when you use Joy. But if you're using Joy, like just turn the fucking game off. You've already won. Um, Other than that, he just sucks. His fucking move to get you more money is broken. Not that it matters. His money's infinite. He just fucking sucks. Joy Addict sucks. Misses a lot when he's on Joy. He can do one stun with an okay damage move. Who fucking cares? Kark, one of the best characters in the game, S tier. For some reason, all of his moves that you care about that are actually like damage dealers are all special attacks, even though they're all fucking knife slashes, which is funny. So you just want to stick with your butter knife that can poison. I think it's not the butter knife; it's like the rusted knife or whatever. And poison does like no damage. Well, it has no physical damage, but you only care about your special attack. Ton of damage with that. He can lower enemy attack, and it's like he has a move that can do speed and luck, and then one that can do I think just attack and special attack. He can't lower defense, but it's very nice because not many characters can just straight up raise or lower attack. It's usually done through statuses, so you can basically stack it with everything, and it does a little bit of damage while you're doing that. He can poison, deep poison too, but his deep poison move is pretty unreliable. Well, most deep poison moves are kind of unreliable. But regular poison, awesome. And he's got a multi-hit move with his poisoning knife, so you might just get poisoned anyways. He's a Joy Addict, but um, you don't lose special attack when you're going through Joy Withdrawal. I think he does miss more, which sucks, but he's just really fucking good. He does good damage. He does good status effect of like all kind. I guess he can't do any stuns. He doesn't have any fire damage. That sucks. He's extremely fast. Okay enough bulk. Um, and does almost everything you want him to. He can't hit groups of enemies, which sucks, but I'm still giving him S tier. Shocklord does a ton of damage. He's fine enough to use C. He has one move that has a high chance to miss, but does a ton of damage when it hits. He also has like a better crit rate than most characters. But that's all he fucking does. We're putting no one in B tier. Does anyone go in B tier so far? I guess you're fine. You're just like never gonna use him. Honestly, Shocklord's good enough to go in B tier. Olon, you use him early, but even then, like he's not that good. Brad really carries you quite a lot in the early game. Also, no, Olan's or not. Fuck. Nern's damage is like if Olan misses one of his rapid arrows, Nern's damage is probably better when you're using Finger Beam. I might play him in C tier. He falls off later in the game, but he's still pretty good. Or B tier, rather. He's more consistent than any of these fucking TP characters. That's funny. They're all TP characters. All the ones that are left in C tier. Um, should Percy be an F? I think so, because like at least this Farty has a niche somewhere in the game. Percy's pretty much just always useless. Okay, Dick, F tier. Worst character in the game. When he's going through Joy Withdrawal, he just misses all the time, does no fucking damage. He can inflict party mode on everybody, which is nice, and he does actually have moves that just straight give him TP, which is all nice, but he's going to be going through Joy Withdrawal a lot. He's going to be missing a lot when he's doing that, and when he's not going through Joy Withdrawal, what does he got? Machine Gun Thrust, which misses a lot as is. You might want to put the glasses on him. If you can manage to hit all of them, then it does decent damage, but he typically won't. He's TP character, which sucks. He has a move that does a stun and a little bit of damage. Probably one of his best moves, sadly enough. It's very cheap. And then he has a move that hits everyone and has a chance to knock down. Now, who does that sound like? He's like a really dog shit Brad, essentially. Like if all of Brad's worst traits were exaggerated. Party mode's nice enough, but it's when you're using it, I believe it only has a chance to inflict people with party mode, which isn't great. And it's not that fantastic. It's like I think like luck, speed, and special attack or some fucking weird shit like that. I might be wrong on that one. He's still dog shit one way or another. Joy Addict and TP character is not a good mix. Um, who's next? Sunny. Honestly, D or F. He never has a fucking purpose, and he's a TP character. Just for that TP character, you're going F, buddy. You just never need him. I believe my first time playing the game, I replaced someone with him because they like died or whatever. And he's not good ever. Use someone else. I like him. He's just not good. He can scare while doing damage, but again, TP character, so who cares? Um, Tiger Man, probably B tier. Really good damage. Can do bleed. Very fast. A lot of luck. Combo character. That's nice. Just too frail. When he's going through Joy Withdrawal, you're fucking sad. I'd still say B tier though. A lot of people think he's really shit, but I think that's just because his fight's so hard, and then he's just okay when you get him. Um, Still better than C tier though. Clint, he can burn. He has a move with a low chance to paralyze that does damage. He's technically a combo character, but it doesn't really actually do damage. Um, he can blind a whole party of enemies, which is nice. He can knock everyone down, just like Brad. SP character. He does go through Joy Withdrawal. That's not that big a deal. He's kind of like just a second, really much weaker Brad, but that's not the very worst thing to be. And he can burn and can he scare? No, just paralyze. He's decent enough. Ollie is weird. Some of his moves are actually super fucking good. Like his move that hits everyone and can knock them down. Move that hits everyone can scare. Move that hit. I think that one just hits one guy, but it does good damage and bleeds. Sleep bomb, weird bomb, those are good. Weird bomb I think costs too much for what it is, but Sister's Kiss misses too often, but it's very funny when it hits and it can inflict depress, so I always go for it. Problem is his SP. So they changed this in the fucking Definitive Edition, which is another reason to not play Definitive Edition. I don't even care about Definitive Edition. We're not going to be ranking Ollie in that. Played through Definitive Edition once and was really pissed off. Don't care about it. But in the base game where he has like a fucking soul, um, he's like decent. I'd say he's B tier even with having like almost no SP. Because like I say, just use a fucking Diet Cola on him. By the time the battle's over, like you'll probably run out before the battle's over, but you'll get a lot done. And even then, like you can just heal for practically free. Just spend one turn doing that. He's still pretty good. If he just could spam attacks, he'd be like S tier. He's like super. He's a weirdly good, but because of the SP thing, I'm gonna be B tier. What's your fucking name? Dick Van Dyke, F tier. Never a reason to use him. What's really funny, um, this character's like almost unfinished. He gets like you'll join at like level what like 17, 18 or whatever. Get like one move 2 levels in, and then you get to level 25, and you'll just learn like your entire move list at once. It's so funny. Um, they did not test this character. Unfinished. Most of his moves just don't. They do like mediocre, less than mediocre damage. TP character sucks. Um, there's just no reason to use him. You get him at the. He's a boss in Area 3, and he's most of the treasure in the area of Area 3 that he's in isn't that good. You'd only really be going there first if you really want him to get a good baseball bat, and most baseball bat characters suck. So you don't really want to do that typically. You're not usually using one of those. Other than that, what are you getting in Area 3? Like nothing? I think it's just that baseball bat rather. Yeah, so you're usually going there last, or at least I almost always go there last. Um, he's not really going there worth going there first for. He sucks anyways. F tier. Harvey, he's kind of weird. He's got the one. Wasn't there one other guy that does water damage? Why was I thinking there was one guy that does water? Who does water damage? Because I might have been mistaking them for. Oh yeah, this guy. This guy, I believe, has the water damage. Is that? Yeah, that's in the base game. If it's not, it's useless either way. So who cares? Harvey, one guy with water attacks. Your water attacks will put out burn, which makes it just suck. Um, so you don't really want to combo him with anyone that has burns, which is like half the fucking cast. But it is good damage. Um, Good special attack damage, which is kind of rare. You can inflict bleed and paralysis in one move, sleep and bleed in one move. Um, Pissed off and bleed, and pissed off can actually be pretty useful because that prevents enemies from using any instant or permadeath moves. It can be kind of bad though, obviously. It can be honestly, it's not too terrible. I say he's probably like A tier. He's pretty good. He doesn't really have any good physical attacks, but it's fine. Does decent damage. Does good status effects. All the status effects you want. Um, well, most status effects you want. It's pretty good. Goose. Um, he can poison. He can deep poison. Who cares? But he can poison. He can paralyze, but doesn't have a great chance of working. But it is still nice. It doesn't do damage though, so if it fails, you just waste your turn. Um, all of his moves are special attacks, even though it doesn't look like it. But they do good damage. He does good damage. He's fast. Tons of SP. Um, like he'll never run out basically. He's probably like B tier. He's fine. Get him early enough, like mid game. He's the most like mid character in the fucking game. Jack, like A tier, can scare, can hit everyone with fire damage that can burn. That's awesome. Does decent damage too. Um, he can bleed with his basic attack. You don't usually want that, but if they're like really resistant to fire, I guess maybe you would. Or if it's just it's funny. Um, his card toss move does decent single target damage and has a good chance to burn. Um, but he's pretty good. The scare is nice. His fucking Mystic Hat move typically sucks ass. Um, don't use it, but What he needs to do is good. He's very fast, very frail though. You get him at a really low join level, which is weird. I guess he is supposed to be like a teenager, like a preteen maybe even. I don't know. It's still like pretty good though. Yazan, he can bleed and do okay damage. He eventually gets a decent single target attack. Oh, he can lower the speed of the enemy. I don't fucking care. It's like the least useful thing about Carp. But it's still something. Like, I'll use it. It does damage too, so it's like, okay, sure. You can paralyze with the cat throw. That's nice. It doesn't do damage though. A lot of paralysis moves don't have a huge chance of working. You typically want to go with scare, I feel like. I mean, he's just fine. You can raise your party's speed, but if that was any other stat, that would be super awesome. Speed's like whatever though. The thing is, he's really, really frail. He has like no HP. If you want for that, you might go in B tier, but he just doesn't really do enough damage or have um, consistent enough debuffs to really be that good. Fly, really weird. He can hit everyone for good physical damage. Um, Puke and Super Puke are very inconsistent. Puke might even be better than Super Puke because I believe it has higher rates of inflicting certain stat effects like poison. But Super Puke I think has a higher chance to inflict like deep poison and scared, and I think paralysis. I won't say regular Puke can't. It can inflict so much stuff it's hard to remember. But I believe how it goes is you want to puke until you get poison, and then maybe go to Super Puke. You might get better stuff then. Um, you can hit everyone. Can do like pretty much every status effect. It sucks when he gives them a good status effect, but most of them aren't good. It sucks when you use Puke and you just get like nothing of value. The thing, it's kind of inconsistent, but you can get so much done in one fucking turn, and then just sit there doing good physical damage. So he's really fucking good. Super fast too. Good luck. What's his fucking name? Yakub. Pretty good. I don't know if it. The thing is, he can do all these status effects with like blind, which I believe Puke can blind, which is really nice. He can blind, he can poison, burn, make enemies feel weird. I think he can. No, he can make them feel wary, can't he? I believe so. Wary's really good. It's like I think they have 25% of their regular defense. The thing is, none of those moves are doing damage. And in terms of damage, he's got physical attacks. Never use them. Just use your finger beams. They're pretty much always better. He's pretty bulky, not that fast. Um, the thing is, his damage is just not fantastic, but it's pretty solid. It's pretty solid. The fact that his status effects and his damage are completely separated kind of sucks. He's like, and because you can only get him if you haven't used any joy, so it feels like he should be like this big reward character, but he's just pretty good. He's good enough to go in A tier, but he's kind of boring, and he could be better. Garth fucking sucks, but he can just directly raise attack of a party member, which is nice. You know, give it to your combo wheel character, they're doing tons of damage. You always have Brad. Um, he can poison with his pencil stab. It does almost no damage, but it can poison. And then I believe the rest of his shit just kind of sucks. But he can raise attack and poison. So I can't put him... The thing, he's also just really frail, is the thing. Um, Probably C tier. Maybe... No, I mean, he's... The thing is, like, you raise attack, but that's not that good. You know, if your character dies, you have to raise it again. Once you've raised attack on, let's say you have one other support character, and like Brad, and then one guy that does damage, he's kind of just sitting there doing nothing. I guess he can poison. That's good. I guess he's better than like a Rooster and everything. I guess he goes in C tier. I guess. Bottom of C tier, though. Most of this isn't like organized, but he's bottom of C tier. Not that good. Yobo the Hobo, whatever his name is. Good fire attack. Can make enemies feel weird. Can put enemies to sleep and deal damage. Very niche, but I suppose it could be useful. Bag of... I think it's called Bag of Flash to blind enemies, and he's pretty good. Very bulky, kind of slow, but he can burn and do good fire damage. He has tons of good status effects. I know he can paralyze with one of his attacks, but it's when you get pretty late. He doesn't have a great chance to work, but it does damage and paralyzes. I don't think I can justify putting him any lower than A tier, but I want to put him in B tier in my heart. Then Bo, he's very cool. He does have a very cheap party heal. He can give your whole party Iron Body, although it will not work every time. It has like a chance to work, but Iron Body's super good. Gives you a ton of defense. You can make enemies feel weird. You can put everyone to sleep. Put all the enemies to sleep, rather, which is very rarely useful, but when it is, it's pretty funny. Then he can do the Screeching Call, which does like 100 damage and inflicts bleed. The real issue with him, he can also cure like your entire party of almost every status effect. Which if it got rid of Joy Withdrawal, he'd go way up, but it doesn't. Um, the thing is, like, it's nice when you're making enemies feel weird and fucking give an Iron Body late in the game. If you need that party heal, it's really good. But other than that, like, if your party doesn't need any sort of like healing or whatever, he's just fucking sitting there. At least he can do some damage. Like, he can inflict bleed, but he's pretty unique though. He's like the only character with a very consistent party heal. I'd say probably C tier. That feels about right, because like I say, most of the characters in the game are just mid. And there's some that kind of suck, and there's some that are fucking worthless. Um, Honestly, Rooster, you go in the fucking worthless character category. You're like fucking Rooster Storm. You're only getting it like a little bit late, like I don't know, 16, something like that. And really, it's just the upgraded version of that you really care about. But the first form is like okay. He's just so bland and kind of shitty. Queen, when he's not going through Joy Withdrawal, he's good. Yeah. Yeah, D tier being kind of sparse surprises me a little bit. Um, but I think I pretty much stand by this. I'm sure I could sit here and fumble with it a little bit, but this is more or less where I would put people. Is there anyone else that should go in S tier? Um, Think of it as pretty much everyone in S tier does something only they can do. Buckets has fucking retarded damage. Birdie, we're talking about him. This guy just does everything you want almost, along with good damage. Everyone here can pretty much, aside from Birdie, and now it's basically just talking about these two. I can do good damage and status effects. I guess Brad too. But, should anyone else go in A? I'm thinking probably not. I think the rest of them don't really justify an A. Anyone moving from C to B? If his TP costs were a little bit less, and he'd go to B, but he's not that, he's like top of C tier, but not that good. No, this is pretty much good. Alright, fuck you, bye bye.